So a big thing for me is repeat and referral. At the very beginning of my career, I told everybody the majority of my clients come from Instagram or social media. And then I took a boot camp, and one of our tasks in the boot camp was to track all of your deals and where they came from. So then when I did that, I found out that everybody I transacted with were either a repeat client or they were referred to me, but they chose Instagram as a medium to message me. So then when I found that out, I just went super hard into making sure that my close community is feeling good, happy, giving them all their value and their information, and they'll obviously keep putting your name out to other people as well. I would say the biggest thing would definitely be just always being optimistic. I thrive on positivity and good energy and everything like that, but this business is very hard, right? So you are going to get kicked in your mouth, and for you to actually show up every day with a smile on your face. Sometimes that, it's difficult, but it's necessary for you to do your job. And then, getting clients, people may be worried about where their next lead is coming from or this and that, right? But if you're doing your job properly and making sure that everybody is comfortable with you, then you shouldn't be worrying about that part too much. I'm big on making my own content. You're your own brand, you're not your brokerage, right? I think that's important for anybody getting started in the business to kind of understand. It doesn't matter if you're Royal LePage, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Rare, EXP, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, people want to work with you because you're your own brand. So I think anybody coming up, make sure that you really know what your brand is, have a clear path of what you want to do, how you want to look in the real estate world kind of thing. Just make sure that you're ready to work hard every single day, know how you want to do it, don't try to reinvent the wheel, and then you'll be able to be successful.
Great, welcome to Podcast. We're rolling.
Thank you for having me.
Why don't we start with a little bit about yourself? Where do you work?
Yeah.
What kind of people do you work with? Do
Yeah.
you have a specification? Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Tre Folkes, 5 years in the business, just hit that 5-year mark as I just told you earlier. But I service the downtown condo market a lot. That's where I started. So I started servicing people while I was in university, actually. Playing hockey at university, kind of transitioned out of hockey when I saw the writing on the wall. Already had my real estate license, so I started banging off the leases right away, and then that kind of grew my business organically. So I love the downtown condo market, and then follow the water, Lake Ontario, all the way till Durham, really. So I'll do condos there and then freehold more in Scarborough Bluffs, Durham area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a specific person that you
Demographic, yeah. In terms of people, I would say I like to work with people like myself, right? Anywhere from, I would say, young 20s to maybe just below 40. Just I feel like it's the most relatable. 100% I'm never going to say no to a certain type of client, but I would say I have the most fun in my job working with like-minded people, right? Around my age group, similar interests and things like that.
And where you're helping people purchase a condo, what's like the most common things that they're looking for? Are they downsizing or first-time buyers?
Yeah, definitely first-time buyers. So the condo asset class is the most affordable, obviously, if you're looking in Toronto, and you could get in with $30,000 or $40,000 if you're going for the minimum down payment, right? Versus if you want a detached property, you're not getting anything in Toronto for under $1 million, or you might now, but it's a little hard to find, turnkey product. So I do like the condos a lot. They are a little more tricky with the status certificate and everything like that. Like, you really have to do your homework there with your real estate lawyer. But it's just an easier and quicker way into the market if you don't want to have to save up for the 20% down payment on a detached home.
Like right now, it's all, I'm going to deviate because I'll forget if I don't ask you right away.
Yeah.
Right now is all I see on social, more like someone in the industry too directly. All about the new condo pre-built, like pre-construction.
Yeah.
Buy now.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about like Precon and like already?
Yeah.
360?
So I've only helped a handful of people actually do the Precon route. Those clients absolutely love it. They got their foot in the door and they're able to kind of gradually make the down payment. So they like it for that aspect. I do like resale because I actually like going through, touching, and seeing the place before, right? So my business is really revolving around the resale market, and I actually like just knowing what we're getting into, right? When you have the Precon project, not that they're not good or anything like that, but this might rub some people the wrong way. It seems like every Precon project seems like it's like the best thing in the world.
Right.
And I know they have to sell the buildings and everything like that, but you can't have 100 brand new buildings be the best one in the world. So I do enjoy the resale market because you can actually see what you're getting yourself into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more and more I see those crazy parties for the agents. Like come down, it's like a rave. You get your Jordans, custom, like just crazy stuff. To me, I'm not a real estate agent. I don't know if it motivates you to sell their stuff more than anything, but I'm just like, as an expert, like just watching it from the outside, like, come on, let's tone it down.
It seems crazy, So my girlfriend is actually a photographer, wedding photographer. She was working at a small startup company as well, and they worked closely with one of the big Precon companies out there right now. And she's like, oh my gosh, Trey, like I know you don't do Precon, you don't really come to these events, but they were giving out like Hermes bags and like everything like that, right? And I mean, it's eye-opening, I think, to everybody, people in the industry and then people also outside, right? But again, going back on why I like the resale, like it is cheaper per square foot than the Precon, obviously.
There's like a conception of thinking of like Precon is more cheaper, but it's not.
No. It used to be, but I want to say maybe around like the 2016 mark. It just, I mean, skyrocketed, right? And I think it obviously always was a little more expensive than the resale market, but now it's just, the prices are pretty crazy. Like they're going at $1,600 a square foot for some places, and you're not getting that big of a unit, right? Like you can't actually see what you're buying. The presentation centers and everything like that are awesome, but again, you are paying a premium. And will the city of Toronto be massive and very vibrant in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? I think so. So I don't think that is necessarily a wrong thing to do, but it definitely is a pretty interesting game for sure.
Yeah, no, it makes sense because, I mean, you're buying it, they have to sell it to you in the future, right? So they have to charge more.
Yeah,
because they're going to build it in the
future prices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talk back a little bit, because you were saying that you started real estate around your university years, right?
Yeah.
Was it more like full-time, or you kind of?
Yeah, so I have a twin brother as well. So after high school, I took 3 years off, he took 2 years off to play junior A, try to get a scholarship. So he got his full scholarship. Myself, I didn't have like a concrete Division I offer. So I said, I'll just go to school in Toronto and play hockey for Rising University, now TMU. So I did that, it was awesome. But when I was in my junior A career and my brother left for his scholarship, I was like, I'm literally only playing hockey and I'm going out all the time just with my hockey team, right? Because I didn't have that school piece yet. So I was really interested in real estate. So I just started studying for my license in that last year. And then when I came to school, I had my full course load in business. I had the last 2 courses of the real estate program, and then I had my hockey, right? So it was really a hectic time. And I, again, was really passionate about real estate. I saw myself working there as a full-time career. So that's when I kind of made the jump in my second year of school. I am passionate about school as well, so I made sure that I maintained my grades. But I worked full-time in real estate from that point on, just getting in front of people, telling them I could help them find their rental while they're at school. So that's kind of how I started. But I was able to manage it and balance it pretty well. I know some people might feel overwhelmed, but it's just, you have to compartmentalize like your day, and then people can definitely do it.
So you were in university when, like 2017?
So I started university, I want to say 2017 as a 21-year-old. Right. So again, went to school
5
later.
years. Wow. 5 years goes by.
Fast. It goes quick.
Once you got out, were you like full-time?
Yeah, so I consider myself full-time from the summer of my second year in university. So May 2019.
Okay.
Is when I was full-time. Even when I was in the middle of my classes, I would still go do condo showings right after, you know what I mean?
Must have felt good, like being in school and knowing what you're gonna do next. And having like almost like a full-time job.
Yeah, and for me it felt very almost like relaxed because I'm around all my friends while I'm at school, and it was just a very natural conversation. Not like I wasn't trying to push myself on them or anything like that. It was more so I just already knew what I wanted to do, and it was already in that atmosphere. So hey, if you have time and you want to find your new living situation after res, I'll help you out. Right. And then it kind of just was very organic and snowballed, and we're trying to keep it going.
Tell me about your strategy now. Like, how do you get new clients? How do you structure your lead source?
Yeah, so a big thing for me is repeat and referral. At the very beginning of my career, or maybe call it up until year 3, I told everybody the majority of my clients come from Instagram or social media. And then I took a boot camp with Emma Pace and Tom Story. Shout out to them, they're awesome realtors. But they put on a boot camp, and one of our tasks in the boot camp was to track all of your deals and where they came from the past 2 years. So then when I did that, I found out that everybody I transacted with were either a repeat client or they were referred to me, but they chose Instagram as a medium to message me.
Right.
So they would be like, hey, Trey, so-and-so told me to connect with you.
So you registered us.
But they were just doing it on Instagram. So initially I said, no, my leads come from Instagram. But then when I actually went down and tracked everything, it was referral and repeat. So then when I found that out, I just went super hard into making sure that my close community is feeling good, happy, giving them all their value and their information, and they'll obviously keep putting your name out to other people as well.
I like that because whenever we work with anybody, like the most important thing is tracking, like analytics. What's the saying? You're only as good as the information that you track. So like you could be thinking like Instagram. And investing so much in there. But it makes the most sense because it's such a. I think with anything we purchase that's over a couple $1,000, the first thing is, who do we know that's done this? And get a referral. And the more I speak to realtors, their number one lead generation source is referrals. So, and what I'm thinking, and now I'm gonna ask, I don't think I've asked this, do you have a strategy for making sure that you get those referrals? Like you said, keeping them happy.
So I would just say it's always giving them value, number one. But once they're in your system, or once you've transacted with them, always making sure that you'll give them, a small gift or small gifts during the holidays, right? Like right now we're pushing out gifts to all of our clients. When the new year comes around, you're doing calendars. You'll have, community events, right? And you're always just offering this up to your clients and saying, hey, you know what, come over here, free of charge. You don't have to do anything, it's already been paid for. And those small acts of just kindness and being in front of your people, they really appreciate that. And then, it keeps them happy and coming back.
You think that, I like that. So being part of the community, ask them to come join an event or something like, be hosting the party, right? And then just being around them, and you think that's enough to get the referral or being top of mind trust.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely have to know what you're talking about, right? For me, that's why I love my social media presence. I just want to present or give you value. I'm not somebody that's really going to be like doing the dancing on TikTok and stuff like that. For the people, and that works, 100% keep doing it, right? If you're able to get leads that way. For me, I just wanted to provide education and value to kind of just showcase my abilities. And then that'll drop the door and allow people to kind of come in and start asking me questions because they see that I'm knowledgeable about the market. And then again, you'll just put them into your database and then do everything, as I said before, to keep that client happy.
Obviously, like nurturing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think you struggle the most with? Business side.
Yeah, business side. I would say the biggest thing would definitely be just always being optimistic. I thrive on positivity and good energy and everything like that, but this business is very hard, right? So you are going to get kicked in your mouth, and for you to actually show up every day with a smile on your face, sometimes that, it's difficult, but it's necessary for you to do your job. And then, getting clients, people may be worried about where their next lead is coming from or this and that, right? But if you're doing, again, if you're doing your job properly and making sure that everybody is comfortable with you, then you shouldn't be worrying about that part too much, right? So I would say just kind of waking up, working hard every single day, even though things may not be, like the bounces may not be going your way, is something that I think a lot of agents may struggle with, but also know that it's necessary to do if you want to succeed.
That's the second time I've heard it. Last week I had a podcast with Unveiling. She has a team, and she was telling me that a lot of people, like, this is a very stressful time for people, right?
Yeah.
House shopping.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not in it willingly. Maybe someone passed away. Like,
right.
The situation is very different.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you are, I don't know, like the emotional support of the transaction, right?
Yeah.
And if you come in with like, oh, all right, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go really down.
No. Yeah.
It's gonna suck. Like, the transaction.
It's people first, right? You always have to treat your client as a 5-star or 10-star individual, and like you said before, you're more than a realtor. You're the emotional guy. You're there to make sure that they are educated and know what they're doing, right? If you have to help out the family with anything outside of real estate, a lot of the time you have to do that as well, right? So your job is more than just being a realtor. You kind of just assist on many parts of people's lives throughout that stressful time period.
Do you have a personal way of like how to de-stress or like separate a little? Because you guys are like always on. You're always call.
On. Yeah. So in my first, I mean, my family and girlfriend would probably say I'm really still very much on the clock 24/7 now. But when I first started, it was real estate or nothing. I wasn't really going on vacation. I wasn't allowing myself to have too much time just for leisure activities and stuff like that. My father, he's been in the business for 17 years. I think he's going to be coming into his 17th year now. So that was really big for me to have somebody like that to lean on. He's not big on, like, he's never given me a lead or anything like that, right? But just to be that mentor and for me to lean on him. No question could be done. He's available, again, 24/7. If something is not going my way or if I had a really hard day, I could be like, hey, what would you have done in this situation? Because as a realtor, every transaction is going to be different, even for people that have been in the business for 20 years. But chances are they may have come across something that you've been involved in, right? So I would say mentorship has been crucial for me to really kick off my career on the right foot. And it just lessens your learning curve, right? Instead of having a slow, gradual climb up, you can go a lot quicker if you just find somebody to mentor you and somebody that you're comfortable with.
The trial and error is going to be a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe, a little more less, but just being able to have somebody to talk to, I think, is the biggest thing. And I know teams are big disruptors, right, in the industry, and they're getting like a lot of market share. But the one good thing that I like with teams is that you have people around you, right? You don't have to do it alone. I'm more of that solo agent, but again, I do have people that I lean on to kind of make it an exciting ride.
What do you think it's one of the things that your dad helped you, like mentored you, like a big challenge that you had, and how do you help you?
Yeah, I would just say the mindset, because I mean, people will do anything really in this business, right? Like I've done deals where I should have been the realtor that got paid, and then at the end of the day it was somebody else, and there's like learning curves to it, right? And he's always there to just kind of give you a level head. This is what we do next time, and then you just kind of have to move on from there. But again, it's just more so the emotional piece and really being that stable mindset.
Do you have one of the hardest challenges that you've gone through, like that took you without any input, kind of like the hardest lesson that you had to fall down a couple times to actually get through you? So I know that to me is niching down, and it's just so hard to accept it. And just like understand, like, statistically, like, you'll make more money if you specialize because you're smarter, you know more about everybody else in this thing. It's just so hard to do, just like everything floating around.
I would say one of the biggest things for me early on was really being the guy, the go-to guy, right? You won't know that you've studied, you've done your education, you've worked with many clients, you've done a great job. but people will view you as too young, or you know what I mean? Not that much of an authority, where once you just have to work really hard to get in front of the right people, the seller, the buyer, and then showcase your education. And then that can hopefully allow you to kind of knock down that barrier, but allowing people to want to work with you if they're not in your demographic and if they're older, that is a very big challenge for young people.
Right.
Yeah.
I started, how old was I? 22, 3?
Yeah.
And I had a baby face. Like it was worse. In life
I still have a baby face.
Yeah. Yeah. So imagine a 20-year-old that looks like maybe like a 17-year-old trying to sell like a grown family life insurance. Yeah. It was not happening. Yeah. And so like, that's tough. But I mean, the good thing is that you get older every single year. Yeah. So you just keep going.
Yeah. And like with that too, what I like to say is, I mean, there's the old school realtor that would be like, oh, you need experience. I have 20 years experience in the business, but it's like, okay, but how many transactions have you done kind of thing? Like, are you only doing 1 or 2 or 3 a year versus a 20-year-old person coming in and hitting the ground running and killing it and doing 10 a year, 50 a year, you know what I mean?
Effort, yeah.
Yeah, so
like, yes, we might have 20 years in it, but like how much effort are you gonna give this one client? Yeah. Or are you just a fat cat now that's just gonna sit in the fence? Yeah, and I would argue that the 25-year-old that has done 30, 40 deals a year consistently might be more educated than the person that's been in for 10 years, but only done a handful of deals per year, right? So, 100% that is a barrier. But anybody that's passionate will find a way around it. Well, tell me more about the market. Like, teach me. I don't know anything with the resale condo market. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously really quiet right now. With that being said, people are recognizing that there are deals, right? But a lot of people were hesitant, and the Bank of Canada just did their December 6th rate announcement, and they kept the interest rate at 5%, which is great to see. A lot of Canadians were really feeling it. But again, I mean, sentiment in the market is not really going to change, I think, until maybe after the spring, when they'll, again, revisit rate hikes kind of thing. Right now, average prices, they have leveled off. Nothing's going up. They were down slightly, I think, in the last report. But again, I think we're going to finish the year with under 68,000 sales, which is not a lot. And then for our average sale price to be hovering over 1.1, I think that's good, all things considered. But heading into 2024 and even 2025, that will be interesting with people renewing mortgages and things like that, right? But again, I've heard agents say that they think prices are going to go up a little bit next year, just based on if the bank actually starts cutting rates and helping Canadians out that way. That's going to bring people off the sidelines. But I mean, forecasting, I think, is a fool's game. Everybody does want to predict things, and I think that it's good. But it's a very hard thing to do, right? Like, our Canadian housing market is so dependent on interest rates. So we don't know really what the bank is going to do on that front, right? When it comes to like this market right now that we're in, post the big boom that we had, are you finding certain things a little harder? And if so, what are those challenges that you're facing now, before, and what are the opportunities that you see?
Yeah, so the one thing I like about this current market is that you actually have time to go through the process, know that you love the place, put your offer in, visit it maybe a couple of times, and it's just a lot more easier of a market to transact in, time-wise, when it's more balanced or even favoring a buyer's market. Whereas before, the seller's market, you see the place once,
you have
to pull the trigger. You're going in against 10 other people. Whereas now you're going to be the only offer on the table, right? And then there's your discount right there. You're not going to be going against each other and working that purchase price up. You're going in with a lot more of a level head, which is making things easier in terms of a market to transact in. But the mortgage affordability is still the worst it's ever been, despite prices easing. So that part is also, I think, a hurdle for people. I've heard of deals falling through on financing. People aren't getting financing for these deals, which, I mean, you need that in order to buy a home 9 times out of 10, right? So people kind of just have to have their ducks in a row kind of thing, make sure that they know how much they can actually afford, and then go that way. But the difficult part about it is, with affordability being the worst it's ever been, a lot of options that we're able to go out and buy, we don't like that product. So that's also keeping people on the sidelines, which is difficult, right?
Yeah, I don't know how true this is, but you start seeing those news of people are burning down their homes and whatnot. They were building. I saw this one house that down here downtown Oakville that was just remodeled and it got burned down. Yeah, and there's a lot of fires going on.
It's scary. I don't know
what's going on.
I know. It's a scary thing to see for sure. I mean, you heard about it before, and I don't know if anybody would really talk about it that much before COVID, but after interest rates go up, people either don't want to close or the builders can't really continue doing the project, and then next thing you know, the place is burned down. So very scary thing to see. I don't know what's going to happen with the legal side of things for those, or if insurance is just going to cover it. Like I'm not too sure, but I say like there's going to be a small percentage of people that maybe still want to live in that Precon home that they bought, right? So what about those people? Now they're in limbo from whoever it is potentially doing something suspicious. I don't know. Right. It's a tricky situation for sure. More than tricky maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. You see them a lot more. Maybe just people focusing on them more now. It always happened, or people rushing. You don't know.
Yeah. No, like I remember a couple stories here and there before the world went crazy, and before interest rates shot up. Like you would hear the odd one, but it seems like it's happening way more now. Another amazing realtor, Daniel Foch, I follow him from afar. He, on his podcast with Nick Hill, they tried to like correlate the interest rates going up to the amount of fires happening, and it was a funny segment that they did.
Do you have any stories that you want to share about real estate? Any best years?
I mean, I'm have been super blessed to be around awesome people. This year I've been able to do more production than I did in 2022. So I'm really just considering myself lucky. I'm trying to just do the work and then let the work take care of myself, right? If you're waking up every day willing to work hard and do what's right, then I think you're able to do awesome in this business. But in terms of, any specific stories, I don't know if I have any off the top of my head right now. Looking forward to next year, I am, like within the last week, I've had a lot more conversations of buyers looking at making a play within the next 3 to 4 months of the new year. So that part's exciting.
What do you do to, keep informed or study? Do you have anything, or is it just more work in the business and that kind of teaching?
No, so I do love just staying up on top of everything. I'm kind of like a pretty big stats guy. Whenever stats get rolled out, I'm always trying to just put them into my own documents and making sure I can understand the market that way. But always staying on top of the market by reading articles, stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself? Because you're saying you're more of a solo agent.
Yeah.
With the support of your father, who's also an agent.
Yeah.
What attracts you? Like, what brokerage are you with?
We're with Condo Banker.
Okay.
Yeah.
What attracts you to a brokerage or a team? And what makes you stay?
I think for brokerage, you really just have to see if you're a good fit there. If it's not going to be something that you would see yourself enjoying, going to that environment every single day. I know a lot of realtors do work from home. They don't go into the office, but it has to be a good fit there. And then I think what allows you to stay is what they offer you, right? Our broker of record and the people that own our brokerage are absolutely awesome. There's trainings literally Monday to Friday, every single day in the mornings. And they're always just giving a lot of information to their realtors, to making sure that they're at the top of their game. So I think that's really important, continuous education for your realtors. But again, it all comes down to, I think, personal feel. And with there's so many new ones popping up, right? And I've seen a lot of people, they push one so hard and then they end up at a different one. And then they push that one hard and then they end up at a different one, right? So I think just taking a step back, don't go after just the really shiny object. Is the brokerage going to be in the market that you like, or is it going to be near your home if you want to try to get away from condos and into the detached market, right? Like take everything, all these factors into consideration before actually making your jump. But yeah, don't always just go after the super shiny object, because that's where other top producers are, right? It's definitely good to be in that crowd. You can network with them from a different brokerage, right? And that's what a lot of people do. But yeah, be happy with your situation and really take your time before going to a specific brokerage.
How do you identify when you're feeling to want to move? And what do you think is, like you said, it could be a shiny syndrome. Shiny object syndrome. Or it could be a personal reason that you need to move for real, to help your business. What do you think goes through your mind when you actually would take a move? What's the evaluation?
I would say just is your current brokerage, are their goals and values in line with your own? Would be first and foremost. If they are, great. Hopefully you're able to stay. If they're not, then you might want to start looking elsewhere, right? But the brokerages that you're maybe checking out, are they having training for you? Maybe some brokerages only have training for their top performing agents, and if you're a newer agent, you're not getting many looks, right? It might be flipped. The brokerage may just only train new people, and then if you're a vet, you may not get any help, right? So really just look at what the brokerage is offering before jumping in anything.
It has to match the stage of business that we're at.
Right? And again, you might want to switch, or people might start having the idea that they want to switch if they're stuck at maybe a certain income, right? But again, take a step back. Are you stuck at an income because you're content with what you're doing in business and you're not actually doing all the extra activities that you should be doing, right? To generate more business. Right. So I think that looking at other colleagues in the industry, I've seen people switch brokerages so many times, and I don't know if they're better off over where they were or better off where they were before. But it's an interesting topic for sure.
I mean, too much chaos, too much movement is not good, right? Because then you're focusing on being the new guy, learn where's everything, where you should focus on business. Right?
Exactly.
But what keeps you not joining a team? What do you think?
I already had that mentorship piece in my corner. So I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to join a team. I think teams are great if you're a new agent with no background in real estate, obviously, and you need people to be able to lean on. They'll show you how to actually write a deal properly. They'll show you how to show a home or a condo properly, things like that. But I kind of already had that piece. Anytime I had a question, like I said, no question was bad. I could be like, hey, what should I be doing here? How would you talk to this agent? How would you talk to this client? So for myself, I didn't feel it was necessary, but I definitely do see the value in people wanting to join teams.
What do you think? Because you had the mentorship covered. What do you think the way that you're now gives you? More solo agent?
I love the fact that I'm giving my 100% self to my client right away. Sometimes if you're getting brought on and you're going to be working within a team as just a buyer, you might be working with a couple different people, right? And there might be lapses in communication. Not to say that that's going to happen all the time. Really strong, vibrant teams they're going to be really involved in that process. But I've heard of times where the buyer or the client is I haven't really spoken with the actual person that I wanted to work with or that brought me in here, right? So I love the fact that I'm able just to be in the process every single day, right beside the person.
So you're more in control of the whole in and out.
You're just very much in tune with what's happening, and there's not going to be any hiccups, right?
Anything that has you excited at the moment coming up?
Yeah, I mean, so in terms of the real estate world, there's a thing called Tressa. So it just changed over, and basically they took out the customer relationship in a real estate transaction. So before you could be a client, you could be a customer, or you could be just try to sell it on your own, right? Or try to handle the waters of real estate alone. So they took out the customer relationship, which is you're not a client, your duties were limited, right? So a realtor, they would work with you, they would help you with what you would want them, but we have fiduciary duties towards our clients. We have to disclose everything. We have to work with you 100% of the time, right? It's a very professional setting. So Tressa just took out the customer relationship, so you have clients, and then now you'll have a self-represented party. I am excited for this because it's just going to be more transparent, right? We want transparency in the business. So once you want to give information to somebody, they have to actually sign that client form right away, right? So there's no really any more gray area, or hopefully there's no more gray area, and you have people that maybe aren't going to be loyal to one agent. Hopefully because agents, a lot of the time, I would say 99% of the time, people that take this job seriously, you're going to be super loyal to your client, right? So you just want to make sure that loyalty is given back to you. So I think that is going to make 2024 and real estate in the future just more transparent and hopefully more better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything that a topic that we haven't covered that you'd like to talk about?
I think we covered everything. I would also, I guess, just going back to brokerage again, people are going to look at brokerages or these high performing people and what brokerage they're at on social media and say, hey, I have to go there kind of thing. Instead of also, like, I'm big on making my own content. You're your own brand. You're not your brokerage, right? I think that's important for anybody getting started in the business to kind of understand. It doesn't matter if you're Royal LePage, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Rare, EXP. It doesn't matter. What does a brokerage offer you? You make sure that you're getting value from them. But at the end of the day, people want to work with you because you're Tre, you're whoever, right? You're your own brand. So I think anybody coming up, make sure that you really know what your brand is, have a clear path of what you want to do, how you want to look in the real estate world kind of thing. And then, yeah, like social media is massive, but it's not the end all be all, right? So if you're getting started off, just make sure that you're ready to work hard every single day, know how you want to do it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. And then you'll be able to be successful.
Yeah, I like that. I work with some agents, and sometimes they have, depending on the brokers they work with, they have requirements of like, oh, every photo, every video that you do has to have our logo here.
Right.
And I think it's just the brokerage chooses to set that rule. I don't think it's like a legality. And stuff like that, which makes to me, it just, knowing social media, like it just makes you not want to watch the video.
Yeah.
But like little things like that of holding back the realtor, because or other realtors saying, wanting to use the colors to do with Remax, so my branding has to be blue and red because I get some of it. I don't think so. Like, no. I don't think it helps you at all.
No.
It's all about you.
Do what
consumer,
you like. Yeah,
I don't care what you work with.
Exactly.
I care about you.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing, right? Just going off of like the watermark or the brand has to be everywhere. If you're on a team and that's the way that it is, suck it up, do it with a smile on your face. But then maybe if you outgrow that team, I hear a lot of the time agents in the business, they need help in the beginning, they need that mentorship, but then they grow and then they don't have to stay in that environment. You could go elsewhere, you can go by yourself, right? So, I mean, always want to level up, and yeah, don't have that mentality that, oh, my brand has to be this way because Royal LePage is black, white, and red, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna get
more leads or more clients or more money because you're using colors.
Your credibility doesn't go up just because you're using their colors.
No. It depends on your education, your value, what you can bring to the table at the end of the day.
First of all, I don't think people even know what's a real estate company now. Everybody knows Remax, but like,
right, exactly.
That's about it.
Yeah. So Coldwell Banker, a big misconception is that we're commercial real estate. So I actually got a message on LinkedIn this morning saying, hey Trey, do you only do commercial or do you do res as well?
Really?
Yeah, because I think the Coldwell Banker brand is very big in the States and they may handle a lot of commercial deals.
Coldwell Banker's like blue, right?
Blue.
Yeah,
okay. Blue and white. I think they changed some of the stuff to black and white, but yeah, they're the blue and white. But
that's how I recognize them, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, people might not want to work with me because they say, oh, Coldwell Banker, he's only in a different field. Meanwhile, no, if you had to talk or watch my stuff, you would realize that I'm res focused.
Exactly.
Right. So no, just be your brand, and then that's how you'll attract the people that you wanna work with. That's the main thing in the game.
Another thing that I want to ask, is there a channel that you want to explore? Because you're talking about LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is very good because you know people where they are, location, you know like what kind of job they have, so you can kind of qualify them a little by income. And target them. Have you explored LinkedIn or other channels?
Yeah. So I do like LinkedIn. I was going through waves. Like I've worked hard to try to get a following on Instagram, but at the same time, I was doing LinkedIn as well, and then that kind of died down. So I think heading into 2024, LinkedIn, I'm really going to try to beef up and connect with just a lot of people there.
I don't see a lot of realtors there.
I think it's untapped. Like you do see some people there, but I think we should try to be everywhere, right? I've tried TikTok, I'm not big on it, but again, should I be posting my reels that I create on Instagram and just put them there? I should, but I don't know, lazy. So going into 2024, I think I'm really going to try to beef up the LinkedIn, and then YouTube. That's something that I've worked hard at as well. But again, you have to be really consistent. Life gets in the way. I fell off my consistency a little bit. I was wanting to do 4 videos every single month. Some months I only had 3, some months I had 2 while I was traveling and like things like that. So those are probably the 2 platforms that I want to try to grow and be consistent on in 2024.
What do you think helps or like holds you back on your consistency? Just like the time, or what do you think?
I would say I really am like consistent for the Instagram the most of the time.
Just
but
implementing a new platform, I think, like adding another thing on top.
It's just like there's so many things on the go. There's Threads now. There's Twitter. There's Instagram. There's TikTok. There's YouTube. There's LinkedIn. There's, you know what I mean? Like there are a lot of the platforms, and you want to be servicing your clients every single day. You don't want to be spending 3 hours making content and putting them on every single platform. So outsourcing, maybe like actually paying somebody to do that for you, that could work. But again, I think it's just making the time for it is the most important thing.
Awesome, Trey. Like I think we hit it. We got it. Kind of flew by, eh?
Yeah. No, these things fly by literally so quickly. No, thank you for having me though. This was awesome.
Thank you for coming. I hope you didn't drive too far out.
No, well, I had to go to Liberty Village and drop off. I'm doing all my client gifts right now. So I did a couple of drop-offs there and then just kept it going here. So it wasn't bad.
What do you think about the gifts? Like I've seen some like very unique ones. Someone actually works at Condo Banker in Sarnia area where I used to live. High school.
Who's that? I'm just at the Coldwell Banker conference. I came across a guy over there, Josh, young guy, Josh.
Olivia Blondie or something.
Okay.
But like she has a little like chickens and stuff.
Okay.
And so she I saw that she was delivering like little 4 eggs in her card.
Cool.
It looks so cool. I'm like, wow, that's creative.
Yeah, I think get creative with it. It doesn't have to be the same gift for every single client. You know what I mean? Tailor it to your client maybe, but just doing something out of the kindness of your heart, I think, and just making sure that they're feeling seen is the most important thing. Your A+ clients might get something a little bigger. If it's only a lease, it might get something smaller. If you did a transaction with them and then they went elsewhere after that, you might still want to keep yourself on their radar and do maybe a card and a candle, or just it's going to be smaller, right? Your clients are going to be hopefully A+, A-, and B. Sometimes you might have a C or something like that, where
they get
the further down clients might not get as much. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.